You haven't heard me the entire time. That's absolute shocking. Okay. Well, that's shocking. So, what's happened in the race so far? Well, I've been going well. Collision for the Haas and the V-Carb. Callum Patterson and Aaron Walling both crashing into each other. And having a collision there. Callum Patterson saying that Aaron Walling needs to, quote, gain a bit of racecraft. And then, but on the other side of the sportsmanship ladder, we have Liam Martin Bradley apologising to Thomas Main, one of his old championship rivals, one of the two champions apologising to each other here. And Tristan saying that he has to walk his dog. Very peculiar thing to be saying at the moment, I must say. But meanwhile, we have the V-Carb of Steps doing very excessive weaving, and Thomas Main doing the Kimi Raikkonen strap, just going straight, keeping his tyres nice and cool. Very Iceman-like things here. As seems like Kyle Blaney has contact. Is Kyle Blaney? I'm not too sure which car. Kyle Blaney. Kyle Blaney. Is he the Williams? Or is he the Mercedes? I'm not too sure. But meanwhile, the safety car coming in this lap, on lap 3 of 29 of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Let me just get something up before this race restarts, and it's going to be an absolute, it's going to be definitely one to watch. I'll admit that one. And here we go there, Thomas Main here, looking to control the pace here. We're on board with the number 19 car of the Steps. Number 19 you may recognise from Antoine Hubert, and paying tribute to him, I reckon, is the Steps in the V-Carb. But meanwhile, Thomas Main controlling the pace. When's he gonna go? When's he pulling the trigger? Oh, there's contact there between Oliver Sloat and the Steps there. As meanwhile, the two Williams as well, continuing up, and they go, and it's at the line. It's Darth FIFA. Oh, look at that one, the Williams go wide there. That's Dexter Isaacston taking the F122 time trial line. Very peculiar, and he's wide again. He's onto the grass, and he's taking his teammate with him. The Williams falling behind the McLaren of Leroy Van Schlitz. And down the inside goes Tristan on his teammate, and he goes straight into the McLaren. He does. The Thomas Ronhaber comes off way worse. And that is not what you want to see, as Tristan here nearly taking the backwards version of the old chicane. Meanwhile, there's another safety car, and everyone bunched out 3 wide, 4 wide nearly. No, it's not another safety car, my bad. There's one of the Mercedes going off here. That is a corner cutting penalty, and one of the Mercedes out. Dezet is out of the race. I didn't really catch that there, but it looks like he lost the car on the way into turn 8 or turn 6, and then maybe he's hit the wall or hit into another car. I'll just try to check for damage on these cars here, and it looks like Liam Martin Bradley might have damage, so maybe they come together. Let me check in Discord, as Carter Brown not too happy with the disconnect at the start, and he's in the Red Bull at the moment. But meanwhile, it looks like, are we under another safety car, or are we still under green flags? And I can't quite tell the graphics. There's a drive-through penalty for Tristan for speeding under the safety car conditions. Meanwhile, there's a lot of other people in the pits. The two Ferraris, are they double stacking? It looks like they are. That's Oliver Sloan into the pits. Then comes Liam Martin Bradley, the Season 1, Season 2 champion, the number 21 car, and one of the main suspects on the karting scene at the moment. And as he comes out of the pits, meanwhile, Aaron Walling coming out of the pits as well, and there's a penalty for Tristan. Aaron Walling, after being involved in that collision with Callum Patterson at the start, looking to make amends in the number 9 Haas. And I reckon he has the pace to do so. And Stefan Vebra saying that the safety cars not seeming reduced. So we've had two safety cars in 5 laps at the moment. Very chaotic races. We have 2 McLarens in the top 3. Separated by Steps, who's in a Woken sandwich, and meanwhile The Williams there really not helping each other out at the moment. I have to say that was... I don't think James Vowles will be looking at that and thinking, teamwork. I think that'll be called into question. Meanwhile, the Ferraris have pit onto new rubber, so track position wise they've had a stinker, but in terms of tyre life, if they have the racecraft to be able to cut through this field like a hot knife through butter, they might be on for a decent result at the moment. Meanwhile, McLaren have the absolute dream in the Constructors' Championship. Meanwhile, Aaron Walling and Oliver Sloan battling under the safety car. Very peculiar. As you know, we have just Liam Martin Bradley to catch up here, and I'm surprised the safety car isn't in this lap. It'll be in the next lap for sure. So that means there's only one Mercedes and one V-Carb left in the race. And obviously one Aston Martin, but he didn't have a teammate to begin with. Liam Martin Bradley with a 10-second penalty. I picked that up very late, my bad. But he's pit again, and this time he's got a 10-second penalty. Not too sure of why, as I'm going to put some of the telemetry up now to keep track of everything. But Liam Martin Bradley back into the pit, and he's got another penalty. So he has now made, is that 2 stops or 3 stops nearly? Absolute chaos. So penalty-wise, Aaron Walling has a 13-second penalty, and a drive-through penalty needs to be served by Tristan for speeding under the yellow flags. I thought Aaron Walling was about to run into all of a sudden. And meanwhile, we have the original back-to-back champion of SRC in Season 1 and Season 2 coming out the pits and into turn 10. Meanwhile, there's still battling under the safety car between Sloan and Walling. I'm just going to get something up a minute that'll help me out in this commentary. That's not the right thing. So that's not the right thing either. Trying to find... It's not there, is it? From what I can see, I can't really find any corner names. Anyway, as I check in SRC chat... Yeah, we're just waiting for the safety car to go in. And it's the safety car in, it is. So, Thomas Main, for the second time, and there's been an overtake under the safety car, straight into the lead, goes Steps. Steps in the V-Carb, jumps the McLarens, and it's a nightmare for the McLarens at this start, as down from the lead goes one, and down from third goes another. The side-by-side here with Tristan, who's making up for that drive-through penalty. They're 3 wide into turn 5. And it's nicely done there, so they're nearly 4 wide in the background with the 2 Ferraris, the Williams and the Haas. And coming out of that corner, look at the army of cars here. This looks like an Arava, like one of those no dirty air videos that Arava does, where everyone's just so close together. But this is not with any mods, this is pure racing at its finest. Tristan around the outside here of Leroy, and he's round again. Another Williams round after battling side by side with another car. This time it's not his own teammate, but it's into the side of a McLaren yet again. Meanwhile, Liam Martin Bradley watching all this happen in front of him. Meanwhile, the other Williams of Dexter Zexton fighting with Oliver Sloan and Jarno Otmir, who's fighting himself with one of the Aston Martins. That's IDS in the 85 Ferrari, and that's both Ferraris launching an assault on the Williams. That tyre advantage really being used to the best of its ability. Meanwhile, Oliver Sloan coming out of the stadium section, or the hotel section, and then into the last corner, and that's Liam Martin Bradley with a big dive on one of the Williams, and it's worked out for him as Steps takes the lead after that brilliant restart, timing it to perfection and jumping the leader at the start. Leroy just about getting away with falling into the clutches of Tristan. Absolute heart in the mouth stuff there for him as they head into the Ferrari World Hairpin. And on to the main straight into the West Grandstand. Or into the bit past the West Grandstand. So they go past the Abu Dhabi Hill. And into turn 6 and 7. And they all go for it. Meanwhile, there's battling in the background. Dexify Saxton with Aaron Walling side by side, but the Haas keeping the position on the Williams. But looking to go side by side again. Meanwhile, Leroy's lost the position to the 85 Aston Martin, and he's lost it to one of the Mercedes as well. Absolute chaos as McLaren falling. As meanwhile, the lead's been taken back by Darth FIFA. Missed that one. I apologise. That is Thomas Main back into the lead that he had lost on the safety car restart. Meanwhile, look at the absolute army of cars in the background here. The Ferraris here. I don't know if there's going to be any team orders at Ferrari soon, but it looks like they're just separated into their own thing as Dexter Sexton, the Williams driver, is out of this race at the just on the entry to the hotel section. Meanwhile, Jan Watman takes the fastest lap of the race. Or more like Jan not Topmere, as that is not Jan Watman from what I know, that is someone else. As we head up over the hill, or over the turn 2-3 section, and into the Ferrari World hairpin. Thomas Bain leads, then comes the steps, then comes Jana Watmere, then comes IDS in the 85 Aston Martin, then comes Leroy in the number 56 McLaren, if I read that right. Then comes, oh look at that, side by side here with the V-Carb, and the Aston Martin Steps has lost 2 positions to the Mercedes and to the Aston Martin. There's contact between the number 19 V-Carb and the IDS 85 Aston Martin. Meanwhile, we're looking back in the field here. It looks like they're all spacing out at the moment, but these two looking glued to each other. It seems like no matter how hard they try, they just can't put a car in between each other without the other one just scything through right up to the back. So Yana Weltman and Ido Zhao are really putting on a show. As meanwhile, that's one of the Haas's round. That is Oliver Sloan. That's not Oliver Sloan. That's Aaron Walling, who's round, who's had a pretty dismal race. Heartbreak for him in the Haas. That's a big hassle for him to try and recover from. As meanwhile, Leroy trying to sort out the last corner and try and sort out a run on the steps and step up the order into 4th place. Meanwhile, he's got to watch out because the Ferraris are getting very agitated behind him. Liam Martin Bradley, who's now ahead, as again another off, it looks like, for Aaron Walling in the Haas. Well, they head down the hill, and look at that. That's Liam Martin Bradley going for the move here into the Ferrari World hairpin. And in the Ferrari, he's gone past the arch nemesis McLaren. No, he hasn't. Hanging it around the outside is Leroy. Absolute great move. Meanwhile, it looks like there'll be a battle for the lead. Through goes Jana Wobbe, and through goes Ido Shower. Thomas Main loses 2 positions into the turn 6 corner. And round turn 7, and on to the Marina. The Marina straight. And into turn 9, the south corner. Meanwhile, I think there's battling going on back behind. No, it's just this train of cars. And it looks like the Ferraris have swallowed each other up here. It was a bad run for Liam Martin Bradley. Nearly gave Oliver Sloan a sniff. But their teammates, so I don't think they're going to go as aggressive on each other as I had originally expected. As keep moving the cameras to the wrong place there, my bad. As we head through the hotel section then, and it looks like they're all off into their own battles now, and it looks like Liam Martin Bradley's going to go for that dive again into the last corner. The last corner dive not working out for him this time round. But he is getting such a good run out of the hotel section, and then gets a great opportunity for a move down at the last corner. As they go round turn 1 and over the Abu Dhabi Hill and down into the Ferrari World corner. We're going to come back to this battle because it looks like they change positions on this straight every single lap, but Thomas Main does not have enough of a run to catch up to the lead, not in the same way that the IDS Aston Martin has. As meanwhile, back to the V-Carb and the Ferraris, and it looks like one Ferrari and both Ferraris have got through, so a double overtake by the Scuderia on the former Scuderia AlphaTauri, or Scuderia Toro Rosso as it used to be called. So Steps has stepped down from 5th place, down in 7th place, but he's now got DRS. But it looks like the DRS from the Ferrari is not going to help the Steps to get up the order again. Meanwhile, we're looking back up the order here. The Aston Martin looking to maybe get a move into the hotel section. So they go under the bridge and out of the back garden of the hotel, and then onto the last corner. And we're going to come back to Lee Martin Bradley because we've seen him try and make moves into this last corner, but he's got no moves to make at that last corner. He's not close enough to Leroy yet. He's 6/10 away. That's the same gap between him and Oliver Sloan, his Ferrari teammate, but he seems like he's closing up to Leroy now. Meanwhile, there's half a second separating the top two in this race here on lap 12 of 29 and into the Ferrari World Hairpin. Jarno Opmeer is a 10th up on his previous lap. Then comes I Don't Shower on the same tyre compound as him. Meanwhile, it looks like the mediums have died off for the McLaren of Darth FIFA. Thomas Main, season 4 champion of SRC. Meanwhile, down the straight they go. Lee Martin Bradley takes another position from the McLaren of Leroy, and that's another position. He's now up about 3 places to what he was earlier on in this race. He overtook Steps. He had a switch with his Ferrari teammate just before that, and now he's up into P4. That tyre advantage really working for him, but the lack of DRS really not helping him as he goes around the outside of turn 9, the south corner, and they come out of that corner, and Lee Martin Bradley stays ahead. The 21 Ferrari stays ahead of the 56 McLaren. Meanwhile, it's another Ferrari, the number 66 of Oliver Sloan, looking to make a move. So, for 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and 6th, it's McLaren, Ferrari, McLaren, Ferrari. And then comes the V-carb of Steps, as you can see at the bottom of the screen there, as Lee Martin Bradley really going well at the moment. It's 3/10. The gap's got even closer between the 95 Ferrari, the 95 Aston Martin. I've been calling it 85 the entire time. That's an incredibly bad mistake by me. I apologise for that. Meanwhile, into the Ferrari corner over the Abu Dhabi hill. That's 3,000ths off his best time in the race at the moment, so very competent times by these two. Meanwhile, I'm going to come back to this battle between Oliver Sloan and Leroy von Schweetz as they go into the turn 6 and 7 corner, down the straight past the Abu Dhabi hill and into the chicane. Oliver Sloan doesn't make a move, but he's getting very close to the back of the McLaren. It looks like there's a change for the lead. The Aston Martin, the 95 for Aston Martin, making the move. IDS, he may not shower, but he may take the lead of this race. And meanwhile, Leroy's back past Lee Martin Bradley. Lee Martin Bradley under pressure from the McLaren, who's looking to make it a McLaren 3-4, but the Ferrari not going to let him go that easy as they go round the marina, round the outside of the marina, and all those yachts. Meanwhile, under the hotel, and Leroy keeps the position from a very antagonised Lee Martin Bradley. Looking for any way to keep that 4th place. He was looking to go after Thomas Main. Leroy said, no you don't, and takes 4th place back from the 21 Ferrari car. Meanwhile, Jarno Opmeer in the Mercedes, 6/10 away. Is there going to be another change for position between these two? They're swapping positions and sharing 1st place like it's their favourite chocolate bars at lunchtime at school. Meanwhile, an even smaller gap separates Leroy and Lee Martin Bradley as they head down into turn 8 and turn 9. Look at that, 2/10 between the two leaders. Not going to have any change of position there. There is going to be a change of position though as Lee Martin Bradley goes through. Now I wonder if Leroy is playing DRS chicken here and maybe looking to use DRS to his advantage on the exit at this corner, although he's not got the run to do it with, so he's going to have to rely on DRS for the second half of this straight as they head into south corner. Turn 9, the banking, and he makes the move stick on the 21 Ferrari again. The same story playing out as the last lap. Lee Martin Bradley trying to keep the position ahead into turn 9, but not being able to do so, and he's not even as close as he was on the last lap. So shocker at the moment here for Lee Martin Bradley, who's stuck behind Leroy in P4. As we head round, as that's one of the Williams in the pits. I think that's Tristan here, who's gone on to accept hard tyres, looking to go for an ambitious strategy to get himself back into this race. Meanwhile, we head up the order. The Ferraris look like they've lost some time to the McLaren ahead at the moment. Through to have the Williams coming out the pits just behind Liam Martin Bradley. There's Tristan there, the ghost there. That'll, I don't know if that's going to be very distracting for Oliver Sloan there. I'd have to say that is very bad in terms of his traffic management on that one. As they head down into the next corner. I thought Liam Martin Bradley was side by side, but he doesn't. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead is raging and they're swapping places again. Jo gets past IDS. The Mercedes gets past the Aston Martin number 95 and takes the lead back in this race. The Aramco Mercedes not being able to fend off the Patronus Mercedes. The Aramco Aston not being able to hold off the Petronas Mercedes. There we go. Got my words right this time. Meanwhile, Liam Martin Bradley still not finding a way past Leroy. And it looks like he's maybe just trying to figure out and try and plan some form of attack that Leroy won't be able to fend off. All this is basically just a high-speed game of chess in terms of figuring out your strategy in race. And meanwhile, Darth FIFA, the man who led for so long from the first safety car to the about lap 10, has now come into the pits. The number 2 McLaren goes out on his second set of tyres, and he is on the hard tyres to the end of the race here on lap 16. He's looking probably to go to the end of the race on those tyres. Meanwhile, the Mercedes here looking to keep the Aston Martin, the number 95, behind. And I think this is what Liam Martin Bradley needs to do. Wait to the end of this straight, get a good run out of this corner like the Aston's done, and then use the DRS to his advantage and power past the Mercedes in a way that the Aston Martin's going to do now. The 95 powers past the Mercedes in an unbeatable fight between the Aston versus the Mercedes, and that is how powerful the DRS is. And Liam Martin Bradley takes that advice and uses it to gospel levels of work as he's got up into the podium now as Darth FIFA pit. That became the fight for the podium, and the fight for the podium goes to Liam Martin Bradley on lap 16. Great stuff at this stage of the race. As we see Liam Martin Bradley, he's made 3 stops, so theoretically he doesn't have to pit again. He's on those hard tyres as well, so I reckon he might be able to go to the end of the race. But if we have a look at his tyre life, it is quite substantial if he's going to try and make it to the end of this race. But depending on how good his tyre management is, we don't know. As meanwhile, Jarno Ottmar into the pits after being overtaken by IDS, the 95 Aston Martin, who has done a good enough pit stop to keep ahead of the Petronas Mercedes of Jarno Ottmar. Jarno Ottmar, obviously the actual esports driver, racing for Red Bull now. As meanwhile, Oliver Sloan has fallen behind Darth FIFA in the pit stop phase, and he might even lose out to Steps. He has got track position over Oliver Sloan, but he's gonna have worse tyres, so he's got to see if he can keep the position. And meanwhile, the battle for the lead is raging here. We sport to a camera, and meanwhile, Jarno Ottmar gets past IDS in the 95 Aston Martin, and he gets the 3rd place back. Meanwhile, Leroy, who hasn't stopped yet, looking to help out his McLaren teammate pull the undercut on Liam Martin Bradley, and he's doing so. He's fighting with him through the south corner and round the outside of the marina. And what a move round the outside of the Barbican and the marina here in Abu Dhabi. What a move as they go into the hotel section. Absolute frantic stuff here between Liam Martin Bradley and Leroy Van Schlitz, who's looking to help out his teammate perform the undercut. And it's working out for him as he stays out another lap. Liam Martin Bradley looking to go maybe to the end of the race on those tyres, providing there isn't another safety car. And at the moment, Leroy doing everything he can to help out Thomas Main get up to the back of Liam Martin Bradley. Meanwhile, we go to the battle, or the former battle for the lead from a couple laps ago, before the pit stop phase of these two. But IDS looking to make a move on that car, the Petronas Mercedes number 93. Now there's a guy I know called Ashley Curtis who races with 93, but he's not at the same pace at the moment. Meanwhile, Levi Bradley takes the lead back from Leroy Van Schlitz. But again, is that just another DRS chicken move from Leroy, who hits into Levi Bradley, hits into his rear tyre, and now he's lost a bit of time here, but he's still in DRS. But obviously he's not going to make the move from there. They don't have DRS. It looks like. Meanwhile, someone who does have DRS is the Aston Martin of IDS, and he's looking to make a move on the flashed red lights Jana Watmir Mercedes car, the 93. And there's another battle taking place down the Marina Straight. As around the outside of the south corner goes Oliver Sloan, and he takes that position with authority. Meanwhile, we're looking at the McLaren here of Leroy, and Liam Bradley into the pits again. He nearly misses the pit entry. That would have been really bad. As now we're going to cut. Now there's overtaken obviously because everyone jumping Liam Bradley in the pits. Let's have a look at and see if Thomas Main will get out ahead. He will. He'll be Wales ahead of Liam Bradley, who's gone on to mediums for the last 10 laps of this race. Let's hope and see if Liam Bradley can be able to take that to the end. And will he even be ahead of his Ferrari teammate Oliver Sloan? Sloan looks like he's got the better strategy at the moment, and he has. He's out ahead of Liam Bradley. Liam Bradley has got to watch on his back foot here because he's going to have steps looking all over the back of him to make a move. But now he's on fresher tyres that heat up quicker, and now he has just about, I think I'm on the interval at the moment, so I reckon that's about just over maybe 15, maybe 16 seconds to catch up to Thomas Main. That will be something to watch. Meanwhile, as the Ferraris change positions, the second and third place men may change positions as well, as the Williams going past the pair of them on the straight here. And I Don't Shower staying behind Jana Watmir for now. Meanwhile, Leroy ahead at the moment. And they're side by side heading into the Barbican section. Around the outside of the marina. No, he's not going to make the move there. Meanwhile, the Ferraris behind ahead of the V-Carb. As we head round the hotel section. And it looks like Thomas Main is caught up to the back of the 95 Aston Martin and the 93 Mercedes. The number 2 McLaren looking to go up into P2. She's caught right up to the back of these guys. Let's see if he can make a move here. He goes over the Abu Dhabi hill into the Ferrari World hairpin. So they all go on the inside of the Ferrari World's thing. And now down into the next corner. And into turn 6 and 7, it looks like IDS is going to make the move stick here on the Mercedes. The 93 Mercedes goes defensive to the inside. Is he going to make the move stick? No, he loses the place. Alright, as we are back on here, we have down the inside for the Mercedes of Jana Watmir, who takes the position off of IDS, who goes deep though. The 93 runs out wide at the south corner, now on the outside of the Barbican and the marina here in Abu Dhabi. The IDS stays behind Jana Watmir for now, but he's looking to maybe go for a move here on the hotel section. He's gone for it down the inside. The Aston Martin making an audacious move as he goes round the outside of the penultimate corner into the final corner, doing the Liam Bradley dive bomb, not making the move. Great defensive driving here by the Mercedes of Jana Watmir. As meanwhile, Thomas Main, this is really going to back him up into the chasing Liam Bradley, who's closed already about 7 seconds to the McLaren from what I can remember on the gap that we last checked in on. This is really hurting him as he's having to stay behind these guys while they battle to not hurt his tyres too much, so that if Liam Bradley catches, he has the racecraft and the grip to be able to defend. Absolute crazy. Meanwhile, Leroy Van Schlitz on 20 lap hold hard tyres, he's going to have to pit, so this battle is going to become the lead battle, and the McLaren of Darth FIFA, he's going to be trying to keep Liam Bradley from the podium as they head onto the marina straight into the south corner of turn 9. Here they come. Round turn 9 they go. As the McLaren there, Leroy, he's right ahead of Jarno Opmeer and IDS. And I wonder if he's maybe going to try and back them up into Thomas Main here. That would be, I mean, Thomas Main has the number 2 at the moment, but Leroy would probably earn the number 2 if he's able to back them up. But he's staying out again on those hard tyres. Incredible stuff here. The ultimate team game here by McLaren. They're pinching the leaders into Thomas Main, and he's trying everything he can to get his teammate the win. Absolute great teamwork here by the men from Woking. Is it working though? We'll find out in the next few laps. It's down the inside of the Ferrari World hairpin. Goes the Mercedes, not making the move stick, but he's got the DRS now on this straight. But he has got a lot of, yeah, look how close Thomas Main is now to the back of the 95 Aston Martin and the 93 Mercedes. They're going to have to get past now, because otherwise they're going to get swallowed up by the McLaren. It could be 3 wide, it could be 4, into turn 6. It's 4 wide, into turn 6 here, Abu Dhabi. The Mercedes has lost 3 places in 1 corner. On the exit, Thomas Main, it's worked. Thomas Main takes the lead here of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix here at SRC, round 2 of SRC, the Season 3, Season 4 champion of SRC, up into the lead with great teamwork by McLaren. The Mercedes of Jarno Opmeer has benefited to none with that entire ordeal, as the Mercedes, who was fighting in P3 and P2, is now down to P4 with a chasing Liam Martin Bradley behind him. That's going to be absolutely shocking. I wonder if Leroy's going to pit now. No, he's not. He's still staying out. This is the ultimate tyre saving game here by Leroy Van Schwitz. And into turn 1 again. Now IDS up ahead, up behind Thomas Main, who just benefited from the ultimate defense game as they all went 4 wide into turn 6 and 7. Absolute chaos. I am absolutely in awe of what I have just seen from these guys as they head out of the Ferrari World hairpin and over the straight, over the Abu Dhabi hill. Defending very wildly is Thomas Main, but it's not going to help him stay ahead of IDS, but maybe that could be that DRS chicken thing that Leroy and Lee Martin Bradley were in earlier. So maybe this will play to his advantage. He gets the run out of the turn 7 corner and into turn 9, the south corner as it's called. Is he going to make the move? No, not close enough. But I don't know if it looks like maybe the Aston Martin has more straight line speed, or he's on slightly fresher tyres and has more grip. But no, he's definitely got a lower downforce cell because he looks slower in the corners to Thomas Main. So I wonder if Thomas Main could make maybe that last corner send that Liam Martin Bradley got good at doing in the early part of this race. As here he goes, he's going to go for the move. Nope, not going to go for the move yet. Meanwhile, speaking of Liam Martin Bradley, look at how close he is to Leroy. He could be up to P4, and look how close he is to Jarno Opmeer as well. Jarno Opmeer could theoretically get the move on. Jarno Opmeer could be passed by Liam Martin Bradley soon if he's not careful. There's 3 laps, there's 5 laps left to go in this race. Anything can go down as we head through the Ferrari World corner, and IDS still staying ahead of Darth Vivo, who hasn't got the best run out of the turn 5 corner. And after all that work that Leroy did, he's now, I hate to say it, but he's falling into the clutches of Jarno Opmeer, who's having to watch out for Liam Martin Bradley, because look, he's passed the McLaren in the background. Meanwhile, there's Aaron Walling there being a back marker in the background as we're having a look here as down the straight into the south corner. It looks like the lead might go back to the men from Woking. Another move here by Thomas Main on the outside, not manufactured by his teammate. Will it be all done by him? No, it's not. As meanwhile, Leroy gets back past Liam Martin Bradley and forces him out to the wall. Absolute disaster here for Liam Martin Bradley, and he retires from the session. I think that's going to have to be a hefty penalty. I'm not going to lie, that looked quite ridiculous. I don't know what the reason for that will be, but it's going to have to be quite an unusual one, as that will cost Liam Martin Bradley a chance to go after Jarno Opmeer Meanwhile, Thomas Main looking to make a move on IDS in the Aston Martin. Meanwhile, Jarno Watmir is now on the back of the McLaren, and they're all flashing the red lights of ERS, trying to harvest as much energy as possible in order to catch up to each other and have enough power down the straights here as they head into the Ferrari World Corner and onto the straight that goes past the Abu Dhabi Hill on the side. So here we go, we're going to ride on board with Thomas Main. He's got the DRS now. There's the Abu Dhabi Hill, there's the 95 Aston Martin. And there is the lead for Thomas Main as they're 3 wide into turn 6. They managed 4 wide earlier, only 3 wide this time. But round the outside goes Thomas Main, and that's great for Thomas Main. Side by side between the Aston and the Mercedes. That's going to compromise them. He now has a lot of breathing space, half a second worth of breathing space between him and Thomas and Jarno Watmir, who's still on the outside though, still making the move, but not making it stick. The Aston Martin now looking to make a move on the outside of the Barbican. But he isn't going to make a move either. They're in a line of stern at the moment. As Darth FIFA, Thomas Main, heading round the last few corners at the hotel section. Tristan gets up to P8 after Leroy's DNF. And now into the last corner here on lap 25 or 29. 3 laps left to go here in Abu Dhabi. At the Etihad circuit, can Darth FIFA put on a performance that will shake the crowd of adrenaline? His teammate doing a lot of work. Can he turn the McLaren work into some brilliant points today? Ferrari, they're going to score high though with a 4th and a 5th. 12 points for 4th and 10 points for 5th. That'll equate to 22 points for Ferrari and the constructors. Meanwhile, on the track at the moment, side by side with Jarno Watmir and with the Aston Martin. They're 3 wide as they head into this corner. The Aston Martin looking to make a switchback move on the Mercedes. The number 99 of Jarno Watmir. Down the straight they go. And he's made the move stick. The Aston Martin of IDS, he looks like he's made the move stick. But down the inside, late on the brakes goes Jarno Watmir. He's made the move. No, he hasn't. They're side by side heading out of turn 9, the south corner. And they've done a great job to make sure this doesn't turn south. Meanwhile, Darth FIFA's lost both of those positions. And the Aston Martin and the Mercedes still jockeying for position. Under the hotel side by side. Debris being flung from the side pod of the Aston Martin. And now round the second last corner, and down the inside goes the Aston Martin into the last corner to lead the 26th lap of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix here in SRC. But for how much longer? As round the outside goes the 99 car, and that is a move that Antonio Giovinazzi will be proud of, who used to own the 99 in F1. But they've been side by side for nearly a whole lap, the Aston Martin and the Mercedes. And meanwhile, Thomas Main's going to be licking his lips, waiting for the right opportunity to do a double overtake on the pair of them as they come out of the turn of the Ferrari World Hairpin, turn 5, and down the straight as they pass the Abu Dhabi Hill there, and passing another 2 things. That is the Aston Martin and the Mercedes. Down the inside goes Thomas Main. He does a double overtake into turn 6. More action taking place at that 6th corner and onto the Marina straight. And as they barrel into south corner, Thomas Main now a sitting duck here with the Aston Martin, who's gone for the inside. He's taken the move on the inside of south corner. No, he hasn't. He's been pinched to the inside here by Thomas Main, and that might allow Jarno Watmir to get through on the inside. No, he's not though. Jarno Watmir just staying behind, or maybe not, as he's down the inside on the outside of the Barbican marine section and underneath the hotel. And now he's still on the outside as they head onto the outside of the harbour. They head into the penultimate corner, and while they were side by side for the lead last lap, they're side by side for second as Thomas Main has jumped both of them. So it looks like they might have to give the battling a rest, and instead of knocking 7 bells of you know what out of each other, maybe they should start trying to catch Thomas Main to take the lead back. The lead that they've had for so long. They're fighting tooth and nail and limb and elbow for these for this top position here in round 2 of season 9 of SRC Strikes Racing Championship. Has another strike, and it's Yana Watmir striking up to the lead of the race. Meanwhile, as I've ruined the camera angles, I Don't Shower now doesn't make the move on Thomas Main yet, as he's now going to make the move on the outside of the Marina straight. And now the Mercedes looking to block him off. That was a complete big mistake, as he's now given the position to both of them. They're 3 wide into south corner. What's the outcome? The Mercedes has lost both positions. The Aston Martin now side by side with the McLaren. The McLaren's now back behind them both, and they're side by side on the outside of the Barbican. Right on the outside as they go under the marina, under the hotel, and now rounds alongside the harbour. They're alongside of each other, heading through the penultimate corner. And the Aston Martin, just like on lap 26, takes back the position, but it's a cutback from Yana Watmir, and it's a more effective cutback. Liam Bradley's looking at this thinking, what on earth is going on up there? It's an absolute warfare on the last lap of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix here in SRC. Round the inside of turn 2 goes Yana Watmir. Thomas Main is in the perfect place to take both positions as long as he keeps it clean. As we ride on board with the McLaren, I think this will be the best angle to see what's going on here. Darth FIFA on the hard tyres, making the move to the inside of the 95 Aston Martin. That's one car done. Now he needs to make the move on the Petronas Mercedes, number 99, Yana Watmir. Can he do it? As they head out of turn 7 onto the Marina Straight, and for the last time into the south corner, can Thomas Main turn Yana Watmir's day south? I think he can. He's into the lead, into south corner, round the inside, and he's done the move stick. And meanwhile, Yana Watmir's day might not be done, as he's still got hold of the Aston Martin. And he's also looking for a move heading into the Barbican section, and he's nearly taken out the McLaren. The Aston Martin's now getting desperate on the inside, and he makes a move on the inside of the hotel section. Thomas Main, though, after all the adversity, the McLaren teamwork pays off as round the outside goes Yana Watmir. Thomas Main wins in SRC Tier 1 in round 2, season 9 of Abu Dhabi. Just behind him is I Don't Shower, and then 0.148 separating Yana Watmir from IDS. Absolute pandemonium. As meanwhile, Liam Bradley, after that ambitious medium stint, doesn't quite get up to the podium, but he does get a 4th and a 5th for Ferrari, which will be absolutely great for the Constructors' Championship. And Oliver Sloan there in 5th, and then comes the V-carb of the steps. And as Thomas Main vlogging this moment that he will not want to forget, as the Irishman of IDS into 2nd place, and in 3rd is the Dutchman Yana Watmir. What a show they put on, with Leroy going 4 wide, 4 cars abreast into turn 6 and coming out fine and dandy. I am not gonna sleep without forgetting that tonight. That's absolute joy for them all, and they should all be spraying that champagne in joy, because that was an incredible spectacle that they all just put on. Thank you to SRC, that was an incredible race. Thanks for the commentary appearance. Apologies for the lateness, and we hope to catch you soon. And to confirm, Yana Watmir is actually Thomas Mackinnon, or Torno Mackinnon, of an SRC veteran. No wonder the racecraft was so fine and nick from the Mercedes. It was Thomas Mackinnon, who back in SRC Season 2 Tier 1 at Zandvoort nearly tried to hold off Liam Bradley. He made up 14 positions in that race, but now he's up into 2nd, where he finished in Zandvoort. No, he's in 3rd. He's 1 place below where he finished in that Zandvoort Season 2 race. Absolute pandemonium. Thank you again to SRC for this appearance on commentating. I think I should be able to do tomorrow for SRC Tier 2. That's, yeah, from me, from everyone here at SRC. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye, good evening, stay safe, and ciao ciao. Does anyone actually, I'm gonna do a tier 2 doesn't exist, my bad. Tier 2 doesn't exist in SRC anymore. Would anyone like interviews? I'm gonna start up another stream where on my laptop so the VCs can be heard. So if you just want to do interviews, then I'm more than happy to do that. If anyone wants to do interviews, I'll do that. So let me just kick up my OBS, and then I'll switch the streams over to my laptop, and then we can hear the driver's thoughts to that incredible race. Hang on, I'll put that in chat actually. Thomas Main really celebrating that win. He should. That was an incredible race by him. Incredible execution of that battle. I think I've got the race results on my stream, I think. And Leroy, and another show of SRC sportsmanship. Leroy Van Schendel apologising to Liam Martin Bradley for that incident at turn 9. Incredible sportsmanship here in SRC at the top level. Anyway, I'm going to go to top 3 interviews in a minute. Or shall I just go to general? I'm not too sure. But yeah, I'll start up another stream and do some interviews, I think. So yeah, I'll see you on there. And goodbye.